What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel here today. And today I have another reaction video here. And I have returned back once again for the one last video today. And today I'll end it off with a story for September 30th. It's the last day before tomorrow, October 1st. And it's going to be a fun one because there's going to be some new content that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of stories up in here. A whole bunch of funny stuff. And yeah, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and react to it. But before I do, make sure you guys, one last time for me, this video, smash the like button on this video for one last time for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video to your friends, family, or whoever in your relative that wants to watch it. And make sure you guys turn on notification bell, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn notification bell and go follow me on all social media at bentran reactions on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at bentran reactions. Make sure you guys go do that. And yeah, it's gonna be 3 downright horrifying, true highway scary stories. So there's gonna be 3 of them to end the night. And yeah, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. I was gonna do a slap hand video, but that was too long. I might save that for a live stream. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into this video. So let's go ahead and do it.
This happened during the holiday season of 2014. Back then, I was in college, and because the campus was so close to my parents' home, I just lived with them to save money on rent. Ever since I was a kid, every holiday season, my parents would take our family on a 2-hour drive to the next state over to see extended family. Their plan was to leave Friday morning, but because I had school, I had to drive myself down later that night. And that's what I ended up doing. I'd say it was around 8 p.m. when I left.
So he ended up doing that when he couldn't make it to it, and he literally decided to drive at night after school.
So at that time of year, almost completely dark outside.
Completely
Anyway,
dark.
I was driving down the highway, which should be noted was almost completely dead. There wasn't much for civilization on the route I was taking. I remember going for around an hour when my car started making weird noises. I honestly just tried to ignore it, as the car was old, so it would occasionally do that.
Car was making weird
eventually it
noise.
started slowing down. I literally put the pedal to the floor, but it didn't do anything. That's when my heart dropped, realizing I was out of gas. I meant to fill up on my way back from school, but completely forgot. And like a lot of other things in the car, the gas light was broken, so I had no reminder. Only about a 20-minute walk away was a small town that I knew for a fact had a 24-hour gas station, so I guess things could have been worse. I started my walk, and when I finally made it there, I quickly bought a container, filled it up, and started walking back. Fast forward another 20-minute walk, and I made it back to my car. I filled it up and got inside. But right as I started my car, the headlights revealed some man maybe 50 feet in front of me. Like, no car. Just this guy that came from the exact same direction as I had only a couple minutes ago.
Wow.
When I got to my car, he started making a hand signal and tell me to roll.
As soon as he got back, this man that he turned his lights, and this man appeared right in front of him just 5 minutes later before he got back to fill his car up because he was out of gas.
Window. Now, my first instinct was to drive off, but he was leaning on the front hood of my car, and I didn't want to hurt the dude. So I rolled down my window only an inch to hear what he had to say, and possibly get him to move just enough for me to drive off without hitting him. But no, he stayed right on my car. He then asked me if I could give him a ride, as his car had broken down just up the road. But I knew for a fact this was most likely a lie. I had just walked from that direction, and I didn't see any broken down car. I responded saying, sorry dude, I gotta get going.
No.
There was silence for a bit, until the guy went on about feeling tired, and if I could at least give him a water or something. I told him sure, and reached over to my glove box where I keep extra waters. Like I expected, he moved closer to my window, and now off my car. Figuring this might be my only opportunity to get away, I hit the gas and sped out of there. As I was pulling away, I heard an ear-deafening scraping sound on the side of my car. Along with this, the guy started chasing my car for a bit until giving up. Most disturbing, though, was the fact that nowhere on the side of the road was a broken...
Literally, the guy chased him, and it was making a scoring noise. And this guy literally chased him behind his car until he gave up.
Down car. I firmly believe that man had followed me on my walk from the gas station back to my own car. When I finally made it to my cousin's house, I got out and noticed the entire side of my car had been scraped by what looked like a knife or some sort of sharp object. Ultimately, I reported the incident to the police.
What?
But as far as I know, nothing ever came of it.
That's insane.
The Sleep Number 360
That's
smart bed is
insane
on
right
sale
there.
now. It helps keep you effortlessly comfortable.
That's really insane.
There are some nights in your life that are very hard to forget. I had one of these nights approximately 20 years ago. I was a 17-year-old male, and I was planning on staying out all night with a couple of high school friends of mine. I'll call them Paul and Alex for now. All three of us had relatively strict parents who wouldn't want us out late, and at the time there was a 1 a.m. curfew for people under 18 anyway. So Paul, Alex, and I decided to each pull the old trick of telling our parents that we were sleeping over at one another's house. We talked about how much fun it would be to have no set time to come home, and to be completely free for a night. I decided to be the driver. I had an old Camaro that was as souped up as I could possibly get it on a 17-year-old salary.
Wow.
It was in good shape,
It's
and
like
we
an
figured it would
old
be fun to mess
truck. It's like an old truck, but it's in the 70s.
around in on that particular night.
But it's still good.
Anyway,
he
I
said.
picked up Paul and Alex. From what I can remember, it was around 10 o'clock at night,
He's going to pawn
and we
Alex's
were off to see where the
house.
night would take us. We aimlessly drove around for a while. We stopped for some food, and cruised around the local area until we started to get bored. The night seemed longer than we anticipated. Eventually, we decided it would be fun to drive to a neighboring state's tourist area, and we then drove 45 minutes or so till we got there. I don't recall too much going on at the time we arrived. It was probably 2 in the morning by then. Come around 3 o'clock, and we were again starting to get bored. But that wouldn't last long. We were driving down an unlit street. Other than the illumination from my headlights, and the dim lights from houses or businesses that were set far from the street, it was complete darkness. There were lines of parked cars on both sides of the congested area. And that's when I noticed one had pulled out of a parking space behind me, and was now following me. The car had
That's
no
real
lights on,
scary.
and was slowly getting closer to my bumper. Alex and Paul were
That's
constantly
real
looking back at the
scary
vehicle.
right there.
I remember all of us asking each other what we thought was happening. Keep in mind, we were naive 17-year-olds back then. But as I looked into my rearview mirror, I noticed there were actually 2 vehicles tailing us, one behind the other. We had no cell phones back then, but luckily I had an eager engine, and I wasn't afraid to make use of it. We all agreed it would be best to try to make it to the highway to see if we could lose them. Before we knew it, the car right behind us started putting his lights on, then off, and then on again. He tried to bump us on a few occasions, which forced us to start blowing through stop signs and lights. We were now on a large main highway, both vehicles still following us. One of them was side by side with us for a moment, and I remember looking over, and me and the driver locked eyes for a moment. The guy just smiled at me. His face genuinely disturbed me. Meanwhile, the other car was right behind
That's
us and
great.
pushing us to speeds of around 90 miles an hour. They were both clearly trying to hit my car, one from the back and the other from the side. I then punched the gas somewhere around 100 miles an hour, in a speed limit zone close to half that. We were able to get a few car lengths ahead of them, when we passed by 2 police cars side by side. One of them immediately pulled out with his lights on. This was the only time in my life I've ever been relieved to get pulled over. As I was coming to a stop, I looked behind us, and noticed the 2 vehicles that were following us practically vanished. There was only the patrol vehicle. When the officer came to my window, I told him everything. He was in the middle of telling us we were breaking our curfew, when one of the cars sped by us. I frantically told the officer that was one of the cars, and he radioed another officer, who was able to pull him over further down the road. A short while later, the officer that pulled us over would inform us that we were right, and that the guys following us were known carjackers in the area, and were both caught and currently being arrested. He then issued me a speeding ticket and told us we should have just pulled over.
That's a great one. Great move. So literally, the two cars that were following him, literally went pushing him over 100 miles per hour, stopping, non-stopping at the red light, crossing the red light, and crossing the stop sign. And as soon as he got the highway, the car in the back of him came to the side, smile at him, and then the one in the back. So as soon as he knew that, they tried to crash him. So he knew that they was crashing him. And then like a couple of miles down, he saw a cop car, and then the lights came on. Pulled him over, asked him. He told the officer everything. And then literally, he said that was the car that flew by. So he called another officer, and then he was correct.
Over and locked the doors and windows.
And the hijackers literally got arrested.
But at least the way I see it, I'd much rather would have gotten a speeding ticket than my car stolen.
Yeah. Me too. Third story. This is the last and final story, guys.
I'm 23 and live in a semi-rural area. There's not really much to do on weekends, so every once in a while I'll go meet up with a couple of friends in the nearest city, which is maybe a 45-minute drive. This weekend, I decided to do exactly that. I left around 6 p.m. and stayed in town till around midnight. Everything was normal until about 5 minutes into my drive back home. Now, something that needs to be mentioned is I'm not a night owl by any means. So, needless to say, midnight felt pretty late to me. I'll admit I was tired. In all honesty, the only thing on my mind was getting home so I could go to bed. Anyway, I'm driving on the highway, doing my best to keep myself awake, when I see some man in the middle of the road running towards my car waving their arms around. Mind you, I'm going around 70 miles an hour at this point.
Wow.
But somehow, I was able to see the guy in time to slam.
So some man ran towards his car when he was running 70 miles per hour on this road. And some kind of man literally running towards him. And he saw that man coming, so he stopped.
On the brakes and come to a stop on the shoulder.
He tried his best to stay up. It was like midnight, 12 o'clock in the morning.
The road before hitting
1
him.
o'clock.
I laid on the horn in frustration, completely unaware at this point how odd it was for a man to be out on the highway in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the guy looked directly at the driver's side window and started walking toward my car did I suddenly realize how bizarre and possibly dangerous the whole situation was. The guy was somewhere around 30 years old and profusely sweating.
Wow.
He looked incredibly panicked. And when I rolled down my window, he explained to me that he needed a ride home, while simultaneously attempting to open the locked passenger side door. I asked him where he was going, or where he was even coming from. And to this he explained to me that if I let him in the car, he would tell me. Everything about the whole encounter was off. And so for my own safety, I ultimately decided I wasn't...
You wanna know one thing? These people try to literally do that, and try... So these people come up to you, like, for instance, let's say somebody comes up to you and say, I need a ride home. No, that's not how it works. They're not even gonna give you a ride home. They're gonna bring you somewhere and beat the crap out of you. That's what they're gonna do. So, the answer to that, to letting someone in, is no. Cause you guys know what they're gonna do. You guys know what they're gonna do when they ask for a ride home. That's gonna be cause for trouble.
I told him this, but didn't want to just strand the guy. So I asked him if there was anyone he knew that I could call to come pick him up. In response to this, the guy started crying and full-on banging on my car in frustration.
My God.
And at that, I sped away. Looking in my rearview mirror, I noticed the guy attempting to chase my car, but quickly fading into the distance. After maybe 5 minutes, I called 911 to report the guy. I informed the operator that somebody had been running in the middle of the highway. I also gave his description and explained how he had begged me for a ride and when I drove away, it started chasing me. The next morning, I called the police department for a follow-up to my call, and it turns out the officer who responded to it found the guy. Apparently he was found, again, running in the middle of the road. What disturbs me most is the fact that the guy was identified to be responsible for an armed robbery of a nearby gas station just 30 minutes before
that's what I'm saying. Most people that do this, they would ask you for a ride home, but that's not the case. So do never ever let anyone say that I need a ride home. Do not let them in the car. Just go away. Just ride off as fast as you can. And call 911 if you have one of those situations. Do not ever let any stranger into the car. Because I know some of that stuff that I watched months ago on the on YouTube and stuff. It was like months ago and things. But that never happened to me. So
encounter with him.
do never,
I'm
if
pretty
you guys
confident that
have
at the
a
time the guy was
situation
under the
like that,
influence
do
of something.
never ever let
I've never
anyone
seen somebody
go
act
into
like
your
that.
car.
Thinking back on the whole experience
yeah.
makes me wonder what this guy really had planned if I had let him in my car.
He
Especially
would literally
considering
bring
he
you
was
somewhere.
armed.
He's not gonna bring you home. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys go ahead and enjoy this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video. If we get up to 30 likes, I'll post my new video October 3rd or October 2nd. Okay, I'm gonna rest October 1st. Maybe live stream tomorrow. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoy, make sure you guys smash this like button, smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, and go follow me on all social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at bentran reactions. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Have a blessed, wonderful day. The rest of your night, I'm out from me to you. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend coming up. And I hope that you guys have a great Friday tomorrow. I'll see you guys somewhere tomorrow. Peace out.